Okay, hi all, good afternoon. Today is Monday, it's August 7th. Welcome to my kitchen, this is Cooking with Joel. We're going to get into my great-grandmother's potato salad. I have some updates, and like I promised yesterday, or actually the day before, when I posted all of the bread and butter series, actually it was yesterday, that I posted all of those videos, I would make the dill pickle recipe much shorter. So there were only 2 videos, kind of long, but they weren't as long as the bread and butter pickle. Now, I have a couple of little updates and amendments to the dill pickle recipe. The first one that I'm going to say is if you're going to do the dill pickles, do it as it was written, where you pour the solution over the whole pickles and leave them in a crock. Unfortunately, when I canned them, and I haven't checked them yet because it's not quite at the 24-hour mark, but I'll see if all of the jars have sealed. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to try them for at least 1 month. It's going to take that long for all of the flavors to get together. And unfortunately, all of the recipe flavors have it where it just sits in the solution for 4 days and then you can start enjoying it. So in probably a month, I'll let you know how the dill pickles came out with, but I would suggest doing it as the recipe was originally written, because that's how it was originally written. Now, I didn't tell you guys how long I processed the jars. It's the same amount of time that the bread and butter pickles were processed, and that's 15 minutes. I kind of went a little bit less time because I forgot about the 15 minutes, but as long as they're done over 10 minutes, and I think mine were close to the 15-minute mark, they should be totally fine and done. So, I'm going to do a little bit of gardening update in a little bit of time. We're going to get started on my great-grandmother's potato salad recipe. And I'm just over at the box, and I'm going to grab it out. Of course, I'm going to share the recipe with you guys. I'm going to hold it off. Now, bear in mind that this recipe makes a lot of potato salad. So if you're looking to not have so much potato salad and you want to make it and you want to cut it in half, you're going to have to cut all of the ingredients. The only ingredient I normally would tell you not to cut would be the onion, celery, and green pepper one, and leave those alone as they were written. So this is the recipe, and again, this is in my grandmother's handwriting, and we'll go over this. I'm not actually going to do the entire potato salad today, but I'm going to show you a trick that you can do ahead of time, and that's to boil the potatoes. And again, this recipe uses 5 pounds of potatoes. Now, I have had, every time I've made this recipe, I have used red potatoes. I've never used the russet or the Yucatan Gold or any of those. It's always been done with a red potato. You do not need to peel your potatoes. Now, if you're using a russet potato or a Yucatan Gold you probably also don't need to peel, but your russet potatoes, and those are the potatoes that you would use for baked potatoes, you would have to peel them after they're boiled. Or now you would have to either peel them before you boil them or peel them after they're boiled. So, and you can boil the potatoes for this recipe a day ahead of time. And you're going to boil them, you're going to cube them as if you were making boiled potatoes. Not mashed potatoes, but boiled potatoes. And you kind of want to keep your chunks just a little on the thicker side because this is a potato salad. After your potatoes are boiled, make sure to drain them very, very well. And then once they're fully cooled, you're going to put them in the refrigerator. I'm going to show you step by step on how to do that, because when the potatoes are done cooking and they're fork tender, you're going to dump out all of the water. You're going to soak them really quickly in cold water to stop the cooking time on the potatoes so that they don't cook anymore. You're going to let them fully cool, and then you're going to put them in the refrigerator. Now, you're also going to need, depending on how much potato salad, if you do the full 5-pound recipe, you're going to need 8 eggs, and you're going to hard boil those eggs. We'll get to that. I'm going to do that. You can also do that ahead of time. I'll do that later on today. So, let's get started with the potato salad. I'm going to get set up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's get started with the potato salad recipe. Like I said, you can boil the potatoes ahead of time. I wouldn't do them too far ahead of time. Usually a day before is sufficient for the potatoes. And again, I'm using red potatoes. The recipe, from what I remember and how I make it, I always use red potatoes. I don't use anything other than the red potatoes. Sorry, my Edward is barking. Ice, move. Ice is blocking him. Good boy. So, what you want to do is basically go through your potatoes, make sure there are no soft spots, no icky spots, and make sure that your potatoes are nice and fresh. And I'm going to do that. I have some old potatoes I need to get rid of, but I also see some of these potatoes, they're starting to grow. And if you get any potatoes that are doing this, throw those away. They are still edible, but if you're not going to use them, don't bother putting them in the potato salad. Yeah, and these potatoes are quite a bit old, and they're very wrinkly, so I'm going to get rid of this bag of potatoes. And when I looked at the recipe, I did tell you guys earlier in the segment, what I would not do is I wouldn't decrease the amount of onion and green pepper. I'm going to reread the recipe. It uses 5 pounds of potatoes boiled and cut into slices. She has slices, which you can do. For potato salad, it really doesn't matter. They're both going to be good if you leave them in chunks or if you cut them into slices. They're still going to taste equally as good. With this, you're going to want 1 medium onion, 1 cup of celery, and 1/2 cup of green pepper. If you're going to go half, you could probably do 1/2 of a medium onion, 1/2 cup of celery. I don't know if I would go 1/4 cup of green pepper. It would have to be your judgment. I kind of like the green pepper in there, so I would probably do the 1/2 cup versus 1/4 cup. You're also going to need 8 ounces of mayonnaise. Now, this recipe has always used Hellmann's mayonnaise. I don't know what this recipe would taste like if you used like a Miracle Whip mayonnaise, but mayonnaise to me is Hellmann's, so you need at least 8 ounces of Hellmann's mayonnaise. And you're going to need sour cream, and any sour cream will do. Use your favorite brand. I love Rowdy's. It's 4 ounces, so it's 1/2 container of sour cream. This is where you need to play with it just a little bit, especially if you're doing the full amount. You might have to put a little bit more sour cream and a little bit more mayonnaise if you like a more creamier potato salad versus more of a non-creamy. And I'll show you that tomorrow when we actually assemble the recipe. Now, you can cut your onion, your celery, and your green pepper a day ahead of time. The green pepper, I would suggest holding off till the day you make the potato salad. If you are starting to get the ingredients ready a day before, you can definitely cut everything. But like I said, the green pepper, leave till the day of and cut. And you're also going to need eggs. Now, depending on how many eggs you want to put in, to your potato salad will determine how many you boil. I always boil, if I'm doing the full recipe, I boil 8 eggs. If you're doing half-sies, you could get away with 4 eggs. That would mean you're going to slice and chop 2 eggs into your potato salad, and you're going to leave 2 eggs. You're just going to slice those and make the decorative tops. We'll get into that tomorrow when I do that. And that's basically all there is to the potato salad. So, let's get cooking. So, I'm going to move you guys over here for a second. And unfortunately, I don't know why grocers have put metal rings on potatoes versus having like a twist tie on it. It just makes getting to the potatoes much harder to do. And you just, like I said, you want to look over your potatoes. And what I like to do is I like to use the bigger potatoes. I don't like to use the smaller potatoes. I'll keep those off to the side and maybe use those for other things if I'm making boiled potatoes. And you know, since there aren't that many potatoes that I'm going to look, yeah, this says 5 pounds, but yeah, I think that's enough. So I'm going to keep about 5 potatoes off to the side for other things, so I have them in case I need something else. And again, I said, let me set up, and I forgot to do that. So, I'm going to get things set up really fast. Hopefully you guys have all had a great weekend. It wasn't too wet or sunny where you guys are from. I know this weekend here in Illinois was very rainy. We had rain all weekend. One of the pots that I used yesterday for bread and butter pickles was a little sticky on the side, so I'm just wiping that off. And I'm going to stop the video for 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. My clock tried to play a little tune, and unfortunately, I think it needs a new battery, so it didn't officially play, so I was able to come back very quickly. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm just filling a big pot with hot water. I added a little bit of salt to it. You don't want to go crazy with your salt amount, but you just want to put enough salt in there for the potatoes. I'm going to move you guys a little bit closer so I'm not screaming at my camera. With the potatoes, all you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to rinse and wash your potatoes, checking to see if there's any dirt on your potatoes. And these are a little bit smaller potato than I would normally use. Normally you get good big red potatoes, but lately the grocery stores, especially around my area, they've been really small potatoes. And like I said, you could probably use whatever potato you like. If you like the russet, you could definitely use the russet. You could use the Yucatan gold potatoes. I just find the red potatoes are a good boiling potato. And they taste really good. But the potatoes are totally up to you to decide what to use. The ones I wouldn't use, actually there's certain potatoes, I wouldn't use the baby size red potatoes. Because I would worry about them disintegrating when you cook them. So I'm going to flip you guys around. I'm going to put you guys down for a second. Okay, you guys are over here. Good. I'm going to put my potatoes out of the way. And I'm looking for my big butcher knife, and I don't know where my husband put it. Oh, there it is. Okay, I've got my butcher knife. Okay, I'm gonna bring you guys in closer so you guys aren't so far away. You're gonna see my stomach. What I like to do with the potatoes, and again, you don't need to peel these unless you're using the russet potatoes. I find that the peeling on the red potatoes adds to the flavor of the potato salad. So all I do is I cut in half, and then it's up to you how big. You don't want to make your pieces too big. And you don't want to make them too small. So I go, rule of thumb, and I'm going to bring you in. That's about as big as I do my potatoes. And I'm going to do this for all of the potatoes. I'm just going to cut. Now, reading my grandmother's recipe, she said slices. I've done it slice-wise. I've done it, and you might find, I'll bring this in, you might find a potato that looks like this. Cut those pieces out. You don't want that in your potato salad, and you're just going to discard that. But I find that this recipe, it really doesn't matter if you do slices, if you do chunks, it all is going to taste delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up doing all of the potatoes, and I'll be right back before I start the flame under them. Okay, I'm back. I have 3 potatoes left. I decided not to do that because there is quite a bit of potatoes in here. And I don't want to do the full 5-pound container, although it would be eaten. So, what you're going to want to do is just bring your water with your potatoes in it and a little bit of salt. Don't go crazy with the amount of salt you put in, but just salt the water just enough. Let these boil for 25 minutes once they come up to a boil. And then at 25 minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to drain them, run cold water on them, drain them again. Repeat that process for maybe 2 times. And then once they're fully cooled, put them in the refrigerator, and they'll be good for the next day. So let's start getting our eggs ready. And I am blessed because I have my great-grandmother's egg boiler. And this is the Sunbeam. It's from probably the 1960s. It's very, very old, and I'm very, very protective of it. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. It looks like this. And you can get these on Amazon, not this particular one because it is an antique. But you can get an egg poacher. Now, if you don't have an egg poacher or an egg boiler to make deviled eggs in here, you can do it the old-fashioned way. You can do it on the stove. Google recipes, and there are plenty of recipes for how to hard-boil an egg. But this makes it so easy. It takes the guesswork out of doing it, and it works so well for us that I'm going to use this. Now, since I didn't do the full 5-pound recipe, and I do like hard-boiled eggs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hard-boil 6 eggs. And how many eggs you do totally depends on your taste. You can actually do this recipe and not use any eggs. If you don't like eggs or are allergic to eggs, don't put eggs in it. But I think this recipe just tastes much better with the hard-boiled egg. And always make sure when you're doing your hard-boiled eggs that you poke a little hole at the bottom of your egg. What that does is it lets the air out of the egg, and it makes sure that the egg won't shatter or crack when it's boiling. And I'm going to do actually 7 eggs. Put the lid on, and I'm just going to turn on that thing and let it go. So that will conclude today's portion of the potato salad. Like I said, the rest is fairly easy. All you're going to do the next day is you're going to chop your medium onion, your celery, and your green pepper. And you want little chunks. You don't want huge pieces of onion and celery and green pepper. Usually what I do is I'll make about 1/4-inch slices of the celery. Same with the green pepper. And I'll either dice or chop my onion into small chunks to add that. And that's basically the recipe in a nutshell. I'll be back tomorrow as we assemble it so you can see the final product. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for great videos. I have some great cooks that are coming up soon, so you'll be wanting to stay for you're going to want to stay for those videos. I know I do throw a lot at you. And when we get into the canning of the tomatoes, because that is going to be, I'm already going to warn you, you thought the bread and butter pickle series was long. The the tomato series is going to be much, much longer. It's going to be almost twice the length that the bread and butter pickles were. And what I'm going to do when I start filming that is I am not going to put that all out in one day. It's going to be spread over multiple days so that you guys can kind of at your leisure view the videos, get an idea of what's going on, and then if you are canning your own tomatoes, you can follow along. I'm going to try not to do it so late in the season though that you guys can't get tomatoes if you want to can your own tomatoes. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for viewing my videos. To all my newcomers and subscribers, I hope you guys really like my content. If you have any ideas or suggestions for videos or any recipes you want to share, leave them down below. A lot of you are leaving me great comments and such nice comments, and I thank you guys all from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to start writing down the recipes now, and I started yesterday with the dill pickles. I actually wrote out the entire recipe with the directions, and I'm going to do the same for the potato salad. Now, some recipes that I use, I don't have a recipe for. I just know how to do it, and I'll try to do step by step of what I did. So that's going to be a new change coming to the channel. Everything else is going to stay the same. I am going to take a couple of days off because I am pooped from all of the canning. There will be one more segment to the potato salad that will be filmed on Tuesday. And then I'm going to take Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off of this week. And we'll pick back up probably Saturday with a new cooking video. So thank you for tuning in. Have a great week. And I'll see you on the next Cooking with Joel video. Okay, hi all. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm still in the process of boiling the potatoes and the eggs and getting them ready for tomorrow's potato salad series. I totally forgot. Tonight we are doing something special. And if you watched the Mostaccioli series, you know that I froze some stuffed shells. Well, tonight is the night that we're actually going to bake the stuffed shells. Now, if you want the recipe for the stuffed shells, leave me a comment below and I'll try to write it out. I made the stuffed shells about a month ago in July, and I froze them. I never baked them, I froze them. So tonight they're going to go into the oven, and they will bake. They will take about 1 hour. I'm going to show you the final product when they come out of the oven. It's only 2:15 right now, so I don't really need to start anything for that. But we will be starting at around 5 o'clock for the stuffed shells. So stay tuned for that video. Okay, hi all, welcome to my kitchen. It's Monday, August 7th. This is just a quick amendment on the dill pickles. I just checked my dill pickles. I'm going to walk you guys over. They're all right here. All of the jars did seal. And that is the dill pickle recipe. I won't know for at least the next 4 weeks whether or not this was a good idea or a bad idea. Like I said, when it comes to canning them, the recipe is not written in that way. As a matter of fact, the way that the recipe was originally written, you don't do any canning of the dill pickles. You just put them in the solution. The one thing I forgot to mention is when you do the dill pickles, if you're going to do the crock pot or the enamel pot method as it was written, once your vinegar solution cools enough down, you're going to want to put the pickles in the refrigerator for 4 days to keep them cold. Now, the recipe doesn't specify that, but as I remembered the last time I did it, they do need to be refrigerated. And then on the 4th day, you can actually enjoy them, or you can put them into your jars at that point. Now, like I said, I played with the recipe quite a bit yesterday. It's going to be over a month before I'm able to test how these pickles came out. And it's very tempting to open a jar after it's been processed the next day or a week later or 2 weeks later. But you really need to make yourself wait, because the pickles need to take on the pickling taste. Now again, if you do it the way that the recipe was originally written, you can enjoy the pickles within 4 days. So I hope that helped. I hope you guys enjoyed the dill pickle series. I'll see you on the next Cooking with Joel video.